cold crank amperage on your Harley Davidson. Catch you inside.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well in these testing times. So this video is all about problem solving and issues potentially with the battery, but it could be something else. So in a previous video I talked about this stuttering start that I had with the bike, or that I still have with the bike. I thought that I had solved it by tightening up the battery terminal leads cables, and it did actually fix it, and everything I discussed in that video still holds true. All the checks that you could do to a process of elimination. Anyway, the next day when I went to start the bike again, a cold bike as it were, it's exactly the same problem again. Now what I'm getting here is just a faltering start. I go to press the starter, there's a momentary lapse where nothing happens, nothing engages, then the starter engages, and then it cuts power to the instrument module, and then because the power's cut to the instrument module, the clock loses its time reference, so then I have to reset the clock. Then the bike fires up no problem. Every subsequent start of the bike thereafter is normal. Press the starter and it fires up straight away. So the bike works fine. It's just that first start of the day, or if the bike has been resting for 12 hours, let's say when I'm at work, then I go to hit that starter and it has a problem again. So we started to try and troubleshoot what it could be. I went down to my local dealership and I spoke to the techs there and the parts guys there. We had a lengthy conversation of what it could be. So we said the first thing to do is give the battery a full diagnostic test. Now I've done all the tests here myself, but they can hook it up to their diagnostics and machine and charger as well, and to get a printed readout like this. Okay, so we started thinking that it could be the cold crank amperage, it's just not enough, and whether the battery would fail their test. Anyway, so the cold crank amperage for a standard Harley Davidson Softail battery here I'm talking about is 315 amps. That is basically what it can deliver when you first hit the starter, where it's having to use all that power just to get that engine turning over. That's why it draws a lot of power. So that's why it powers at 315 amps. It's a 17.5 amp hour battery on the Softails as well. And that 315 amps is at 0 degrees Fahrenheit, which is minus 17 degrees Celsius. Okay, so they did their test, and obviously it's in room temperature, so let's say 18 degrees, something like that, Celsius that is, so it's substantially a lot warmer. So my battery, which they tested on their diagnostics and charging machine, was 395 CCAs, or cold cranking amperage. Okay, so it's actually gave me a report, and this is a great thing. You can take your battery to the dealership and you get a printout like this, exactly what the state of your battery is. Perfectly fine, perfectly within limits, slightly below what a brand new battery is. So the brand new battery, and it's fully charged, and they compared it to, was 448 CCA. So what's that? Just over 50 amps or CCA amps, cold cranking amps difference. But still, it gave a full pass, and it's fully okay. So we also discussed the prospect of going to a lithium battery as well, and all that kind of stuff, and the pros and the cons, and whether it'd be better for shorter journeys, longer journeys, all that kind of thing. So we can have that discussion on another video, I suppose. But for now, I don't need to change the battery. The battery is absolutely fine. So what is causing the problem? Well, then we started discussing, well, maybe it's a terminal things, maybe it's a bad earth, maybe there's issues with the starter. So when I've come back, I've fitted the battery again, because confident that the battery is absolutely fine. I've tightened up the connection points on the starter motor. I've applied some dielectric grease on the starter solenoid connector as well. I've tightened up the earth points on the bike as well. I've added dielectric grease to the battery. I've even checked the right hand control module in that if there's anything obvious in there, was there water that has got in there or anything like that. And basically I went to hit the starter on a cold start and exactly the same thing. I had that faltering start and the instrument module lost its power. So what is the issue here? Actually, I don't know. That's the issue. The guys at the dealership, they can't really give me an answer because they have to run a full diagnostics on it. It could be, as I initially thought, this could be a problem with the BCM, or it could be a problem with that right hand control module. That right hand control module, the inside of it is over £200. I think it's about 220, 217 pounds. So whatever that is in dollars and shekels, it's, you know, so it's an expensive bit there. The diagnostics is going to cost me quite a bit just to do that as well. So it'd be interesting to see what they charge me for that. And also what they fundamentally find is the problem with the bike. The battery is fine. The starter, I believe, is fine as well. All the connection points are fine. I've been doing lots of electrical tests as well with parasitic draw and battery tests over the last year. So that has been fine as well in terms of voltage regulator, in terms of charging, in terms of the amperage consumption. So the whole thing up until this point, the bike electrically seems to be running fine. The mystery here is that I'm having this problem, but I'm not getting any check engine lights or any kind of error code on the instrument modules. So in terms of the ECM, the BCM, the speedo or the ABS, there's nothing there at all. No historic codes, no new codes. So every time I hit that starter, the power to the instrument module suddenly drops off, loses power to the clock. So it's an annoyance right now that I have to reset the clock. But it's about problem solving, and the bike is doing something that it should not be doing. So we've got to get to the bottom of it. So I thought I'd let you know this is what's happening. If you've got an issue with your battery for whatever reason, or you think you might have an issue with your battery, if you've got a dealership nearby, it might be well worth you just disconnect your battery, taking it down to them and getting a printout from them to see exactly what they believe the state of your battery is and if it's functioning correctly or not. You can do all your own battery tests at home, of course, but actually getting a printout has it there in black and white for you, so that's a good thing to know. The difference between an AGM battery here, I think it's in the region of about 150, 160 pounds, something like that, and a lithium battery is about 246 pounds, so substantially more, but the weight is amazing. The weight difference is absolutely amazing. It's like lifting a feather when you compare it to the battery. Now, are you particularly concerned about having a lightweight battery on your bike? I'm not, in all fairness. It doesn't really make that much of a difference, but it could do. It might be better for shorter journeys, but you know, there are some pros and cons, so you can watch lots of videos online about the pros and cons of lithium batteries versus AGM batteries. But as I say, if you just take care of your AGM battery, you know, with a tender or regular riding, it should be fine. I mean, I do minimum, let's say 20 miles every trip for a commute, so that should be enough to give it a charge, and it's never let me down. It's just this initial start that seems to be causing an issue, and now it's a regular issue rather than before where it was every now and again. I tried to inquire whether this could be on warranty, because I first noticed it over a year ago, and then it disappeared, then it came back, then it disappeared again, and that was within the warranty period. The batteries, when they're sold with the motorcycle, they're given a 2-year warranty. If you buy a battery over the counter, they're giving you a 1-year warranty. I believe up until a few months ago or last year, over the counter batteries were 6 months, and bike batteries sold with a bike were 1 year. So they've kind of changed that. And also here in the UK, and maybe in Europe as well, the product numbers, the battery numbers, serial numbers, are completely different now. They've changed it, but essentially it's exactly the same battery, still 315 amps, still a 17.5 amp hour battery, and it's, you know, still fundamentally the same dimensions and everything. So it's basically just a serial number that's changed. Not sure why. It could be that they're differentiating between the United States and Europe in different markets, let's say. But anyway, that's where I'm at with it. So I thought I'd share that with you. I mean, if you guys have heard about this before and ever had anything like this, let us know in the comments below. If you want to send an email to us as well, then I can send that to our dealership here, let's say, and I can have that discussion with them as well. But yeah, the bike's going to have to go back in. I'm not in a rush because it's still rideable. I've got a few things to do, so I might coincide it with a couple of other things I may want them to check over as well, electrically, which I can't do. So I might do that. But anyway, when I have an answer, when we get to the bottom of this, I'll let you know what it is. But it could be a starter motor. It could be a right-hand control module. It could just be a very slight bad earth somewhere. We just don't know. So, and obviously it could be the BCM as well. So until they run the full diagnostics, we're really not going to know. And it could be one of those situations where it might take a long time to narrow it down, but hopefully not. Hopefully we'll get to the bottom of it quite quickly. I wanted to try and give you a full explanation there of what this is, but say if you're in doubt about your battery, go and get it tested. That's I'd say well worth it. I didn't pay anything for this. This is completely free. Maybe they just like me, I don't know, but this is a good service from them. I know dealerships and techs get a bad reputation, but I say, and I repeatedly say this, I've never had an issue with my local guys here, and they've always been upfront and always helpful for me. So all I can say is, you know, well done to those guys. But obviously this is still a problem I need to get fixed. When, I don't know. Anyway, if you've got any insights into this, or you maybe have an idea, let us know in the comments below. Let's all get our thinking caps on and see if we can narrow this down. But as I say, I've tightened up all the earth, so I've tightened up the earth and the power going to the starter motor as well, and the solenoid connector. I've tightened up the battery connectors as well. I've cleaned all those off as well. So everything that I can do, I've done, and now it's, well, we're gonna have to see what it is. Anyway, hope you found that useful information at least. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share, and check out the website RevelatorAlf.com, and I'll catch you again on another video coming very soon. Ta-da.